What's up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Paycheck Protection Program because Senator Jackie Rosen last week announced plans to introduce a new piece of legislation which would give the PPP more funding and also offer an extension to the program as well. So if you're somebody who did not apply for the PPP but you would like to, or if you're somebody who never received your PPP funds, then this video is for you because this may be your answer to the problem of the PPP. So let's get started. So by now we all know what the PPP is. The PPP is the Paycheck Protection Program, and this was a program that was implemented last year with the CARES Act to help combat the pandemic. Basically what the purpose of this program was to keep people employed and to keep employees out of the unemployment line. This program was designed to help keep unemployment numbers as low as possible despite the fact that so many businesses were struggling because of the pandemic. Well, over the last year, the PPP has funded millions of businesses with billions of dollars, and the PPP was set to expire at the end of this month on May 31st. But the problem is, at the beginning of this month, the SBA unexpectedly, and what seemed like out of nowhere, announced that the PPP had ran out of money. It really was one of those things where one day the SBA had announced that things were going well, the ball was rolling in the right direction, they had money and they were making progress, and then literally the next, the SBA had announced that they had completely exhausted all of their funds except for two small groups of people. And unless you were somebody who banked with a community financial institution, or you were somebody who had your funds on hold because of a hold code, unless you were one of those two groups of people, you were simply out of luck and your opportunity to get funds through the PPP program was over. Now, this put business owners as well as lenders in a bit of a bind because of the fact that it is estimated that there are still millions of businesses that are in the PPP pipeline waiting to get their PPP funds, and now they are kind of stuck in a state of limbo because of the fact that the PPP has exhausted those funds unexpectedly. Well, since the PPP has ran out of funds, I've been personally wondering whether or not the PPP would be extended. It's something that I've talked about a number of times on this channel, and it's something that I've been curious about myself. And to be honest, I've been a bit surprised and a little bit disappointed with the lack of conversation that lawmakers have had surrounding a PPP extension. It's something that is not talked about in mainstream media. It's something that isn't talked about in any really grand capacity with lawmakers. And it's something that seems to be just not really on their radar. That was until last week when Senator Jackie Rosen announced plans to introduce a new piece of legislation that would not only extend the PPP, but also grant it more funds. Now, Senator Jackie Rosen is a senator out of Nevada, and last week on Wednesday, May 19th, she announced plans to introduce the Keeping Our Promise to Small Business Act. Now, this is a bill that would give more funding and also extend the PPP. And the thought process, at least from Senator Rosen's perspective, is to pass this bill to give her home state of Nevada more funding, but as a result, it would give a lot of states and a lot of businesses across the entire country more funding through the PPP program. Now, according to a press release released by Senator Rosen and her team, the Keeping Our Promise to Small Business Act legislation would allow for Paycheck Protection Program applications that were submitted on or before May 4th, which is the day that the PPP unexpectedly ran out of funds. It would allow for these applications to be reconsidered by the SBA. And if those applications are approved by the SBA, then it would grant and give funding to those applicants. According to the press release, it states that in addition to giving the applicants that are stuck in the pipeline a chance to be approved, it would additionally give $5 billion through the end of May to fund approval applications of small businesses with 100 or fewer employees in hard-hit states with greater than 6% unemployment rates. Nevada is an example of one of these states that have a 6% or higher unemployment rate. In addition to prioritizing states with high unemployment rates, it would also prioritize businesses owned by women, minorities, and veteran-owned businesses as well. So in order to be eligible for this extension of the PPP, you would either have to fall into one of two groups. Number one, you would have needed to apply for the PPP either first first draw or second draw before May 4th or on May 4th. This is the date that the PPP ended, which was 27 days early from the expected end date. So it would give funding to those people that applied and simply did not expect for the program to run out of funds so quickly and so abruptly. If you did not apply for the PPP on or before May 4th, then you could potentially still get funding if you are somebody who is located in a state with an unemployment rate of 6% or higher, and additionally, if you are a woman, veteran, or minority business owner. Now, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the states that have an unemployment rate of 6% or higher are the states that include Hawaii, which has a 8.5% unemployment rate, California with 8.3%, New York with 8.2%, New Mexico with 8.2%, Connecticut with 8.1%, Nevada with an 8%, New Jersey with 7.5%, Washington, D.C. with 7.5%, Pennsylvania with 7.4%, Louisiana with 7.3%, Illinois with 7.1%, Texas with 6.7%, Arizona with 6.7%, Alaska with 6.7%, Massachusetts with 6.5%, Delaware with 6.4%, Colorado with 6.4%, Rhode Island with 6.3%, Mississippi with 6.2%, Maryland with 6.2%, and Oregon with 6%. Now, these are the states, or in the case of Washington, D.C., districts that have an unemployment rate of 6% or higher. And if you live in one of these states or you own a business in one of these states, then you could potentially qualify for this PPP extension if this bill was to pass under the 6% provision. Now, this data is based off of April of 2021, and right now there are a few key questions that I know I have about this data and about this proposal. So this proposal was introduced on Wednesday, May 19th, and as I'm recording this video, it is Monday, May 24th. And between the 19th and today, the 24th, there has been really no additional discussion regarding this bill. It was simply proposed and announced by Senator Jackie Rosen and her team, but it has not been discussed by legislators, and it is not on the schedule for the hearings held by the Committee of Small Business and Entrepreneurship. In fact, they only have 2 hearings scheduled for the rest of this month, and neither one of them have to do with this bill. So though this proposal is to address and extend the PPP through the end of May, the chances of this proposal even being discussed and even being voted on by the end of May is virtually zero. I mean, there is virtually no chance that it's going to happen by the end of this month. So that draws some key questions into the equation. Number one, if this doesn't get addressed by the end of May, will the PPP potentially be extended through June? Could they just adjust the date? So rather than have this proposal extend the PPP until the end of May, could it be until the end of June or the end of July? I think that that is an interesting question that we don't know the answer to. The second question that I have is, what time frame are they pulling this data from? Are they going to be pulling the data from May of 2021, April of 2021? Is it going to be for the first quarter of 2021? How is this going to work, and how are they going to determine what states have an unemployment rate of 6% or higher? This sounds like a very simple question and a really kind of non-issue, but the fact is, depending on when they pull this data will greatly affect who and what states are eligible. And the third question I have is, when can we expect to see a physical bill regarding this proposal? As of right now, this is just simply a proposal announced by Senator Rosen and her team. There is no physical legislation to go along with it, and so I will be really interested to see when and what this looks like once it's released. Having the physical bill is the first step of this process, and without that, we can't have a scheduled hearing, we can't have votes, we can't have negotiations. None of that can happen until a physical bill is released, until it is written by Senator Rosen and her team, and until it is co-sponsored by other senators as well. Honestly though, you guys, I think that this is interesting, and I do think that it is encouraging. The fact is, this program ended so abruptly, so unexpectedly, and it left a lot of loose ends that still need to be tied up. I believe that by giving this program more funding and by giving it an extension, even a small one, will allow for some of these loose ends to be tied up and for some of these business owners to receive some sort of closure regarding the pandemic and regarding PPP. As I stated earlier, as of right now, this piece of legislation is not on the schedule to be discussed by the Committee of Small Business and Entrepreneurship, but once it changes, I will be sure to let y'all know and to give you guys updates regarding this proposal and if it's something that will actually become a reality. But like always, you guys, if you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, then make sure to leave a comment down below. If you have not done so already, if you could check out my second channel that I just recently announced. It's a channel that I'm doing with my fiance HP, and this will be more vlog style content following the things that we're doing on a day-to-day basis to grow our wealth, to grow our income streams, and to grow our businesses. So if you guys are interested in that type of content, I would greatly appreciate if you could check it out and subscribe to that channel. New content is coming over there the first week of June. But like always, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.